Really, when you get right down to it.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ringside Casuals, the wrestling podcast made by noobs. I'm Josiah.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sal.
And together, we are going to talk about the September 30th episode of Raw, and then the October 2nd episodes of NXT and AEW's Dynamite, because it's the Wednesday Night Wars.
Welcome to the Wednesday Night War arc.
Oh, God.
The arc that will continue until one show moves or gets canceled, so
Yeah.
we're going to be here a long time.
So this is great. So not only is this the premiere of the Wednesday Night War arc, but it's the premiere of Raw.
Is it like the War arc in Naruto? It just keeps going on forever?
Yes.
And is like half the series?
There are sub-arcs within the War arc, but the main arc is the War arc.
Because in Naruto, like, half the show is the War arc, and then it's like, but this takes place over 2 days. Everything else takes place over months.
Yeah, so this is their first episode without a SmackDown.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because we'll be recording the SmackDown after
are you
the following Raw.
fucking right?
Yes.
But, so I think...
In conjunction with Hell in a Cell?
Well, see, that's the thing. Do we want to record Hell in a Cell separately?
No.
I figured that's what we did for the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, but the last interview wasn't in the... It wasn't this new...
I don't know. Maybe...
We'll figure it
Yeah. We'll figure it
It'd
out.
be cool to see because SmackDown will be the prologue to Hell in a Cell,
Okay.
and then we'll get the second act of Depression,
I mean, I'm totally down with that.
and then the third act Resolution, which is Raw.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the hope.
That's the hope.
If we have a new Universal Champion.
But now Raw has an arrow. It has I think, in my opinion, a not as good theme. Like the old one better.
The isn't it Skillet?
Yeah, it's Skillet, so I love it.
Yeah. It's the
Harkens back to my days of heavy Christian metal.
Yeah.
So.
I prefer the dun 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 dun. I don't know. It feels more like.
I think
Yeah.
I don't like how long it was, but that's just because they were premiering it. I think
Yeah.
when they just
Yeah.
open with like a little.
That's like the NXT premiere.
Yeah.
When they had that prologue with Triple H, and it's like, is that going to play every time? No.
So most NXTs open with "We Are Not Your Kind" for at least like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but
it's
it's a
also
good
a
song.
dope ass song. Yeah.
It's a good song.
But so we get the fight. I guess we're gonna open up with the title match for the Universal.
Because Rey Mysterio comes out.
I guess, and as soon as they said, the first match of the night will be the Universal title shot, I'm like, he's gonna lose.
Well, no, because see,
Something's
specifically what they said was, oh, I think we're gonna get the match right now. Rey Mysterio's in his street clothes, and it's like, what's gonna happen?
Also, we have new commentators.
Yes, that's right.
Do we like them?
I like Jerry Lawler.
I'm so surprised to say that, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think
he's-
Jerry Lawler's the best of them.
The other two are
Milquetoast.
who cares?
Thank you. I was gonna say Milk
They're
Toast.
205 Live guys, I think.
One of them.
One
is.
of them is.
Yeah, they
I think,
might as both.
I think the other guy was on SmackDown, but he was like the quiet one.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
His
but-
voice sounds familiar. So
Sure.
I think I've heard him somewhere.
But Jerry Lawler, against my expectations, steals the show completely.
Yeah.
Not that it was an easy show to steal and a hard show to steal. Anyway.
Well, and it sucks because apparently he's the temporary one, and I'm like, he's the best thing you have right now.
Yep.
Because we haven't seen SmackDown, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that Cole and Corey are going to be reliable.
It's airing right now. Immersion breaking, I know.
Oh, Jesus.
No, we just recorded this at like. When's this gonna come out? Like 10 in the morning. So we just got. It's like 8:30 a.m. on Saturday.
Guys, this is the spoiler. This is all a fixed shoot. This is all a work.
Well, you know, kayfabe,
Yeah.
kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
This is not a spontaneous conversation.
So Rey Mysterio comes out and he says that the dramatically ironic words of "This is from my son."
Yeah, they make sure Dominic's in the front row, and look at Rey Mysterio. He's pointing at him. He's drawing strength from him being there, and it's just like, oh, okay.
And then you just hear
And
the
then,
theme.
because reasons, Brock Lesnar comes out and kills Rey Mysterio.
Because he's a bad person.
And his son.
So I have problems with this son specifically.
Dominic. Yeah.
Dominic. So it's known, and it was in the plot, that Dominic is an up and coming wrestler.
I mean, that's the hope.
Well, he wants to be.
He wants
So,
to be.
because the whole plot, the reason why Rey Mysterio didn't quit, which is weird because, like, Rey Mysterio still has, like, a year left on his contract. So I don't know why, like...
Yeah.
Well,
Because-
after his last few venues.
Because they bought him in, like, 2018 for a 2-year contract.
Right.
And then I guess there was this whole plot of like, ooh, will he retire? And it's like, no, he has a year left.
I don't know, but
And he's like, I will stay for my son Dominic so we can be a team together. And I'm like, well, that's sweet. And they make a point of saying that Dominic knows how to wrestle, technically. So
they haven't really displayed it though.
no, they haven't, which is why I thought that when Brock Lesnar came out and killed his father,
Dominic was gonna
yeah, at least try.
Because that's the best way to put him over. Would say like, oh, Brock Lesnar, like look at this power scaling, and Dominic actually like hurt him for a little bit, and then he died.
And then he just died. Yeah,
You know.
like it could be the scene in like that one like Jason movie where the guy just like tries to like keeps punching Jason, pulls out all of his awesome moves, and just gets worn out, and then Jason just like punches his head off.
Jason takes Manhattan.
Yeah, that could have been Dominic.
I do like the stare down where it's just like him and Brock Lesnar like locking gaze, and then he just slowly sits down. It's like, oh, he's defeated, and then Brock just rips him out of his seat anyway
By the head.
Yeah. And of course, you can take the hits because he is a practice. He is a wrestler, quote unquote. But later on in the episode, one of the commentators says Dominic's not a wrestler, and I'm like, but I watched this show. I know he is.
No, but
he wants to be.
You watched the show, but he just said when I eventually. He didn't say
because I figured it was like he was in the performance center, like being like, trained.
No. He was having private practice.
If he was actually ready, he'd be on NXT.
Yeah,
let's be real. Like if he was actually
true.
like in being developed into a wrestler like that quickly, he'd be on NXT.
It's why you have it so he stands up to Brock Lesnar. He doesn't defeat him or even anything, but he tries. And then you have a plot of him on NXT. He shows up and he's like, hey, I need to avenge my father, so I'm going to kill Brock Lesnar one day. And you're like, oh, that's cute. And then we watch his plot for 10 years where, like, this, you know.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm playing with the long game where he, like, you know, he has to get good.
Sure.
Where he like has this like burning hatred for Brock Lesnar, and then you have a part where like maybe like Brock retires, and he's like, "Damn it, I never got the chance to avenge my foe." I don't know. I'm just trying here.
So you just want the good version of the Kofi v Randy.
Yes,
where it's like 10 years ago, you kicked my ass.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna kick yours.
Because all Kofi did was jump on Randy Orton and onto a table, whereas Brock Lesnar killed this man's father. Like,
well, because he and Paul Heyman come out, and then. And then Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar grabs Rey Mysterio's mic and gives it to Paul Heyman, and then Mysterio grabs it back.
Yeah.
And then,
what a cuck move.
And then just Mysterio, I think he gets F5 like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like he's dead.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Lawler's just like, Dominic, leave! Go!
Yeah.
You know, Heyman can't stop him, so it's calling back to that whole Brock attacking Seth Rollins thing.
Yeah. And then we have this great match.
But like also, but no one even came in to help.
Well,
Seth never came in.
Here's the thing. I actually wanted this conversation to happen right now because we're going to talk about in-universe stuff. So forgive us if we sound like geeks because basically.
But you are listening to Ringside Casual, so what the fuck do you?
This is Ringside. So at first, when I'm watching this, I assume what they're doing is, oh, Rey Mysterio is competing later on tonight against Seth Rollins, so their way of not making Mysterio look weak is, oh, well, Brock Lesnar fucked him up, so he's not fully prepared to fight Seth Rollins, so when he loses, he didn't really get jobbed, did he? And I thought that's what they were doing, and then, no, he just is out of commission.
Yeah, he just is, there's no
But anytime, like, innocent people are getting killed in the ring, none of the heroes ever come out.
No.
But we see that there's TVs backstage and people will watch them to see what their competition's doing.
And Rey Mysterio is like a famed figure. Like he's like a living legend.
Like,
I feel like
later on Seth Rollins is like, man, I love Rey Mysterio. I totally want to do a match with him. It's like, why didn't you save him when you were backstage and he was getting fucked?
When you were the one man here who could kill Brock Lesnar, why don't you go
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Listen, every time he sees or thinks about Brock Lesnar, he gets like a phantom twinge in his ribs. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't.
I mean, his ribs are still like a weak spot too.
That's the thing. I don't know if like in universe we're supposed to just ignore that or just assume like, well, they don't want to like get hurt before their match because this is technically a tournament arc. So I don't know why nobody helps because like Ricochet's back there, you know, all these people and.
Why would we let Ricochet fight?
No, we'll cut his match. That's a better idea. Cedric Alexander is the one we were actually pushing the whole time. He's like the same as Ricochet.
We just forgot.
And he has a rivalry with AJ, and he's the one who we want to match with. Okay.
So we get a match.
So I'm sure it's great. I love Lacey Evans and Natalia. We didn't get it in the Hulu edit.
Your order is different than mine.
Yeah,
your
order is different than mine.
Yeah.
Is it?
My next thing is Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
That's not mine.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
We're on Bleacher Report. We're on the same exact website.
Mine's
Where
on.
are you?
Well, to be fair,
Are you on the dumb recap thing where they just kind of talk about random? Yeah, you're on the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Never follow that. I made the same mistake because whenever I go back after I finish my notes, I go back and put in where the cut matches are from Bleacher Report, and then.
Oh, very smart. Very
It
smart.
didn't.
But the recap one I first went to was like way out of order. So
They have two versions. They have like their like general thoughts of the night, and then they have their actual play-by-play.
The other one doesn't pop up. Keep going.
so
We're 10 minutes in, we've talked about one match out of 3 shows.
Bliss and Banks.
Sucked. Next.
She goes out on commentary. Becky stands on top of the table, and Lawler's like, "Well, you told me you wouldn't do this, Becky." And this match sucks because Alexa Bliss just loses to Sasha Banks
Because she has to.
Because Banks is like her whole thing is she just makes people submit, and they did the same thing on NXT with Shayna Baszler actually, where they're like she just makes you tap like 5 minutes into the match. And it's like, oh, okay.
She's the submission magician.
Yeah, they cut to a commercial in the middle, and then like Jerry Lawler says something like, "Oh, Cock Lesnar is being questioned by the authorities," and then Becky like threatens Jerry Lawler when he tells her to get off, and she like turns around and says something, but we don't catch it.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I think we can agree, Alexa Bliss is a face, right?
Yeah.
Like she's in no way supposed to be a heel.
Yeah, I think she's turned.
Yeah, I think she's like supposed to be fully a face, barring like a few things.
That's why when we allowed good commentators on the show, you know, Corey Graves was like not into her anymore. And it's because she turned face.
Yeah. And we get this moment where Becky has a good line where she says, "You made it personal, now I'm gonna make it painful." And I'm like,
That was
that's
good.
That's
That was a good little promo.
good.
Then we get
Charlie recapping Seth versus Bray Wyatt. That's build it for Hell in a Cell.
I feel like isn't Hell in a Cell like this Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like I feel like no build up other than like just.
And they don't want to like. No, there's a lot of build up.
I'd say there's build
Like
up.
what matches are happening that we know of?
Fiend and Seth Rollins,
Sasha Banks and Becky.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, the ladder match.
No, that's first
Oh,
episode
that's
of SmackDown.
That's right.
That's SmackDown.
So
2?
yeah,
Yeah, those are
the ones that
I
matter.
feel like you should hype up something else.
No.
No, what?
I mean,
Those the one the Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins match is just going to be an hour and a half.
You're right.
It's just going to be an hour and a half of just two men trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
So
so then we get Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode versus Heavy Machinery, who are SmackDown people on Raw. Wild card.
Wild card, we're slowly getting rid of it.
But
After
I'm really
SummerSlam.
happy that like Heavy Machinery kind of has to like fight, and they
Yeah.
have to like try in this match.
I'm glad they don't win.
So I'm sick
Yeah.
of them fighting jobbers, and it's like, oh wait, Ziggler and Roode are actual like people you have to like work to defeat.
Yeah, and I didn't want them to be just Seth and Braun, where it's like, oh, we lost our titles, so now we're not.
Yeah.
tag team.
As an
It's
aside,
like,
can I say how much I love Dolph Ziggler on Twitter, just like talking about AEW all the time?
Is he?
He's not always talking about it, but he's always like retweeting and replying to AEW wrestlers.
Oh,
Like I saw him tweeting at Cody, he was tweeting at Jericho.
Oh no,
he wants to leave.
In addition to Randy Orton drunk talking about how AEW's opening was awesome.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Of course he did.
He's like, man, did you see that AEW? It was awesome.
It's like it was not.
No, he was like
stupid.
drunk playing Black Ops Zombies.
What the fuck?
It was- I
that
will.
sounds incredible.
You guys will continue. I will find the clip and I will play it because it's like 40 seconds.
Lawler makes a get in my belly joke about Otis.
That was interesting.
I
like Lawler.
I love any time. There's a couple times I can't think of specific examples where Jerry Lawler goes, "Oh, this wrestler said this about another wrestler."
Yeah.
It's really insulting and condescending. There's just like a pause each time, and one of the other commentators goes, "You sure you didn't say that?"
He's like, no.
no.
Yeah, he's like, you couldn't find Heavy Machinery's IQ with a flashlight. Robert Roode said that. And they're like, did he really? And then he's like, oh, of course he did. What are you talking about? I wouldn't. I do honest journalism.
Yeah, no, I love that Jerry Lawler is low-key, high-key heel.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of great.
Otis is jiggling. He's a
Oh,
jiggling fuck.
yeah.
And then we get the glorious DDT for the win. Thank Christ.
There were a lot of very close moments.
Yeah,
and I was
there's a lot of
"Don't.
moments where I'm like, you know,
You've been amping up Heavy Machinery.
they might do it.
And then afterwards, Ziggler and Roode are selling way more, even though they won. And I'm like, that's because they're good actors.
They're
I love that little
fantastic.
thing where they're like arm in arm walk out, like exhausted. I'm like, you guys are so great.
Yeah.
You guys are way better than you have a right to be.
Okay, then we get Ms. TV.
Yeah.
And this segment...
Ms. TV.
Ms. TV.
Yee.
Yee. So he sends his support for Ray and Dominic, and like throughout this whole episode, Seth Rollins is talking about it. The Miz is talking about it. It's like, you could have helped him maybe. But anyway, they're like, oh yeah, you fucked up, Ray Mysterio and Dominic. He's like, I know the rage of someone, hurting your child. Like,
yeah, I can't imagine what would happen if someone touched my daughter and just really intensely stares into the camera. I'm like, I need to watch your movies.
Yeah, I need to watch the Marine 6 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, so Ric Flair comes out and Jerry Lawler starts wooing.
Yeah.
And then, so Ric Flair has this really nice purple suit on, and The Miz has this really nice red suit on, and then Flair, like, makes a point of going, like, man, like, you look good.
And he's like touching him, and
he's like touching him. He's like, oh damn, like, who's your tailor?
He's like a bit turned on. So I want to play the clip. I need to play the clip.
Okay.
It's 40 seconds.
Speaking of Vince, that AEW looked fucking cool, huh? Did you watch that show last night?
I did not get to watch it. I was gonna just download it and check it out.
Yeah, the show started. I'll tell you what, it's that big match feel, the big show feel. Cody and Sammy Guevara. That kid can do some shit. I'd love to work with that kid. They had a great match. And I thought that opening the show with that match was a good idea and well received.
So that was our guest star Randy Orton, everybody.
That's so fucking funny.
Thanks, Mr. Orton.
I love because he's just like oh, I don't know if he's drunk.
No, he's drunk.
No, he's stoned off his ass because he's the way he's talking. He's just like, it was just really cool, man. I'd love to book with that kid. Starting out, that was well received, good idea. I'm just like, can you be on the ringside casuals, please?
Anyway,
man.
sorry, not that, sorry. I didn't
Hulk Hogan comes out with Jimmy Hart, and Jimmy Hart never says anything.
Never says a fucking word.
He doesn't do anything.
It's so bizarre.
And he's one of the best classic speakers of wrestling, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna have you
He's gonna stand there.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
And I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love these wrestlers, this was a little awkward.
This segment was
This was bad.
Very bad, I would say.
This weird Flair does this little
he's face. And then he turns heel, and then he turns face again, and then immediately goes full heel.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's like, why would you do that?
Well, he's very out of it, because he interrupts The Miz a lot.
Yeah.
He goes off script.
Yeah.
Hogan and Miz are like, oh, well, this is what the script is. He's like, no, don't interrupt, don't change the subject. And it's like, are you fucking drunk? Like,
if I get as many zeros in my fat check as yours, you got me down.
Yeah,
and I'm like, holy fuck.
Because Ric Flair's like, I hate your theme, Hulk Hogan. I've listened to it for so many years. And then Hogan's me like, yeah, I've had to listen to the woos for many years.
Yeah.
And it's like, we all hear the woos. And Ric's like, what? we all hear the woos.
And we all kind of love it. No, don't change the subject.
You've been up there with Austin and Taker as the biggest draw. But nobody's better in this ring than me, brother. And you're like...
It's because he's mad that during the Raw reunion... Hogan and Steve got to talk for whenever they wanted, and he just got to stand there.
Yeah, and then...
I can see why now.
Then there's a bit where Hogan says, you're gonna go up against the 24-inch pythons, brother. And I'm like, they're like 20, maybe?
Hey, listen.
Hey, they're still pythons.
They're still pythons. And then, there's a bit where he brings... Rick runs against the ropes, bounces off, Hogan pulls his fist back, and then Rick doesn't move and goes, I was just kidding. And you're like, what? What? And then they tease them doing another match, and then it's like, we're gonna be team captains.
And everyone starts cheering for it, and it's like, no.
That would end in so many broken bones.
Yeah, no.
They're gonna be coaches, and then Hogan's first guy comes out, and it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
hey.
Of course it is.
And this right here tells me he's gonna lose the title.
He's gonna lose.
Because why would he just be the team captain of some weird reunion match unless he was gonna lose the title?
Yep.
So,
and then we have the captain of Team Flair, which is, our special guest, Randy Orton.
I hear voices. It was so great because Ric Flair's talking. He's like, my first person is, I hear voices in my... It just cuts him off. They're like, get him off the mic.
And I love that... So Baron Corbin's also on the team, but he's the king of the ring, but he's not the team captain?
It's like, get fucked.
Well, yeah, that's reserved for the real wrestlers, and I'm glad that Randy Orton finally gets to face one because he's been bogged down in shit.
I'm so glad that plot's just over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We're just done.
He tells Seth Rollins to crawl out of Hulk Hogan's ass, which is a good line.
Yeah.
Because it's Randy Orton.
Because he's a goddamn champ on the mic.
He takes a cheap shot, and then Rusev runs in.
Rusev
Day.
I'm really happy that Rusev's a thing.
And he's the other member of Hogan's team. And it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Not what I expected, but I'll take it.
So are there are more members on the team?
Yes,
right?
5.
Okay.
5 total.
Okay.
To be revealed at a later date. I'm surprised they already showed off 2 from each team. It feels really
And then
weird.
we get 3 things in a row. 2 are the cut matches. Viking Raiders versus OC. Get that shit out of
Good,
here.
okay.
Ricochet versus Cesaro.
Oh, a match I would like to actually have seen.
Yep. And then they show this...
And Ricochet won.
Ricochet won.
You know.
They show this graph showing that Raw has more episodes than Family Guy, Grey's Anatomy, NCIS, Law and Order, SVU, and then Simpsons. And then Rusev's backstage, and they're like, yeah, so how are things with Lana? And he just stares.
He has just like 1,000-yard stare of a man who has seen like his friends die in combat.
Yeah.
And he's just like, channels all that rage of his wife and says like, Seth Rollins got the shit beaten out of him, and who's the only one who could save him? Me. And I'm like, yeah.
That's a good point.
And I'm like, I would have liked you to come out and save Rey Mysterio too.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be the one.
Can Rusev be the guy who just saves everybody? Like
Yeah.
you're in trouble, and all of a sudden, Rusev! It's like a jump scare.
When there's trouble, you know who to call.
Rusev!
And he's gonna replace Rey Mysterio in the fight later. And then we get an AOP segment, and they basically do this thing where, here's how you write a script. You just write, who lives by blank, or sorry, who blanks by becomes blank, and then you just fill all that in.
Who lives by becomes blank.
And then
Who breathes by becomes blank.
who lusts for violence becomes the violence.
Looks the partner, make sure they still have enough time. Keeps going.
Then that's why they're the authors of pain, because they live by the violence.
I was so very excited for like one promo. And if it had just been that, and then just like, no, but we gotta have these dumb fucking promos that are so bad.
It's so funny.
They're trying to do it like Firefly Funhouse, and it's like, you guys
They're
are
not.
not that.
Remember Aleister Black?
I was gonna say no. It's more like they've replaced Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Because they're just sitting in darkness.
If
going,
they were
"We're gonna
all
fuck
3 the
someone."
authors of Pain,
That
that'd
could
be
be
one
interesting.
thing.
Like like the OC.
Yeah.
But with Aleister Black leading them.
That'd be good. I would like that. They won't do it. Anyway.
Speaking of, we get Firefly Funhouse, and Abby's like, it's a close-up shot on Abby the Witch just going, and you're like, oh god.
It's really sad.
Huskus is squealing. Rambling Rabbit feels like he's gonna die of fright. Then he dies of fright. And
I guess Rambling Rabbit's dead.
Again.
Bray Wyatt mourns and then just tosses his ass and is like, just kidding. And then Mercy says this gross joke about his feathers quivering already, and I'm like, oh, fuck me.
And Bray's like, oh, I'm gonna ask the Fiend to be nice to Seth. Leaves. And comes immediately back. I'm just kidding. And it's like, oh, God. Yeah, he's gonna
I thought
die.
when he left, we'd see, like, Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt out in, like...
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for it. They gotta at some point.
Here's the thing. I actually have a theory. So I think I know... Well, you know how I keep saying, I'm real sorry for what I did? I think what the reveal is that... So all the pictures of all the people he's hurt are on the wall that has the weird Abby doll-like caricature. So I think what it is that, like, Bray Wyatt, like, this... The secret is that the Fiend was slumbering in him, and the Fiend is just the part of him that hurt Sister Abigail. And so he's the one who killed her. And
I can see that.
And so previous Bray Wyatt was like, you know, he wasn't consciously aware of that. He was just aware something terrible happened and he had to take care of the family. But I think the Man in the Woods part of him came out and hurt her.
I can see that.
Then what do we get?
So after that, AJ versus Cedric Alexander.
The rivalry that's been built up for... Where's Ricochet?
Oh, he fought Cesaro. Didn't you watch that?
Cedric Alexander and AJ have a pretty good dynamic, though.
Well, yeah, it's the same as AJ and Ricochet.
Styles clash for the win.
Yep, next.
Styles retains it.
Natalia
We get Natalia versus Lacey
next.
Evans, which, as far as I'm aware, just keep getting worse.
Then
so.
we get so I'll say it: Universal Champion Seth Rollins versus Rusev for the title.
I wonder if he's gonna lose the title.
Well, yes. Before that, we get this thing with John Cena instead of the cancer ad. John Cena saying,
"Oh yeah,
we donate to veterans, and I will match you up to $1 million."
Oh yeah,
and that was nice. And then
good for Mr. Cena.
I love Superman.
And we get Paul Heyman sweating his ass off saying, like,
That's right.
listen, it's Vince McMahon's fault for booking Brock Lesnar when he's basically in a homicidal rage, so my client just lines up the bodies. You better pray to the devil. And then it's just like, oh, God. And then he says something like, Cock Lesnar is stronger than anybody in any sports or martial arts ever.
Yeah.
And then Charlie interviews Maria Kanellis, and it's bad. And then Sasha comes in and says, Becky, you aren't man enough.
Out of fucking
for
nowhere,
me.
she disappears.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm having a promo.
Yeah, she interrupts another promo for hers, and that's...
And it's the same thing she's been saying for, like...
And The Rock's going to be on the SmackDown premiere on Fox, which is cool.
That's
cool.
great.
I saw a clip from
He
the bus
was
today.
on it yesterday, you see.
And then we get that Rusev-Rollins match. and there's a bit that a fan caught that isn't in the episode, not even in the full edit on TV, but King Corbin went to his seat, and then the seat collapsed, and Randy Orton just started fucking laughing. And they didn't get it. It wasn't officially filmed, but a fan recorded it, and, like, Randy Orton just breaks fucking character. But they're just watching this whole match, and Lawler's just saying,
which
like...
is not in, like, the Hulu edit, really. That they're there.
No, well, it shows them occasionally, but it never shows them come in, and you're like,
Yeah,
what
no.
are they gonna do? Nothing.
They just want to watch.
No.
Jerry Lawler's like, I feel like the Fiend Bray Wyatt's presence is around.
I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like that he kept talking about, I think the Fiend's around.
Yeah.
And it's like, the cool thing about the Fiend is that, like, he just shows up and it's scary.
Well, and there was a weird moment where before the commercial break, there was just like, let me in, and then shows the Fiend and just cuts to commercial, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then...
So this match was fun, but then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, Bobby Lashley comes out.
And Orton and Corbin are just like, are you serious?
And, like, with his dumb little baby face. Bobby Lashley hasn't been on since we've started our podcast, and nobody knows my hatred of Bobby Lashley.
Oh, he's really bad.
He's bad.
I kind of love him because he's so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
It's starting to come full circle.
He's like the
with
Tommy
this.
Wiseau of wrestling. We're like
it's like his acting is so bad that I just am fascinated by like his like. There's a guy on YouTube called The Botch Guy, and he makes videos called Bobby Lashley is the most confused man on earth, and they're really fucking funny. He just plays it in slow-mo. But we get this weird thing where he motions towards the entrance as his entrance music is playing. Nobody comes out. Rusev's just staring at him.
no one comes out.
No one comes out, and then
God.
eventually his wife Lana comes out, and Rusev is just like
Rusev's
staring.
wife Lana.
Yeah. And then she just goes over to Bobby Lashley, he twirls her, and Rusev's just staring. And then Bobby Lashley delivers, like the word of the Lord. Those who live by the cock die by the cock.
Yeah.
And so then he is making out with Lana, and her legs going up around his ass, and it's like, oh.
And not seen an art edit, but on the side, whenever that happened, Randy Orton went, ooh!
And there's a picture of Seth Rollins, too, like, being disgusted, apparently.
Oh.
And Rusev is just, like, does the classic, like, Kevin Owens when Shane came out, he, like, closed his eyes and just, like, thinks about, like, happy thoughts for a second.
And then in a complete 180, the Fiend shows up.
It's like, why did they... I can't tell if, like, they ran out of time or if they just poorly decided to mix two segments because they thought it'd be surprising.
It felt like they just ran out of time.
Because it just felt like, oh, the
And
Rusev
'cause
segment, and then just,
The
the
fact
Fiend.
that this is the last Fiend segment before Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
is really bad.
And he just mandible claws Seth and just immediately ends.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So this was an alright episode. This could
Yeah.
have been a lot better. This
Yeah,
could have been a lot worse.
I think the Miz TV was surprisingly bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Like-
I was really fucking looking forward
Makes me
to
scared
it, 'cause
for,
I love Hulk Hogan.
I'm hoping... Well, it's The Rock.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to play up. And I wish it was The Rock and Austin, but I get that they had to save Austin for...
Or The Rock and Triple H, because they're real great. But
So then, NXT...
That's right.
I think Corey Taylor of Slipknot was there?
Yeah, he does the, because We Are Not Your Kind Slipknot song.
No, I know that, but like he was there, and I don't really know what he was doing. He kind of was just
He does
talking.
that. He'll show up sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this is a thing. He'll show up.
Did you know the Nostalgia Critic got one of the Slipknot guys for his Pink Floyd's The Wall review?
Doesn't surprise me.
we talk about quality. Well, we talk about wrestling here, sir. You leave your garbage at the door.
And they're talking about the kings.
Garbage
We are
fire on my street.
garbage fire on my street. We are the kings and queens of kicking wholesale ass. We are the most exclusive brand of combat. Please don't think about AEW.
Is that Triple H?
Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah. If not him, it was Corey Taylor. But Matt Riddle comes out.
Yeah, because I know Triple H is kind of like, yeah, AEW is fine, competition's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle comes out, and
I love Matt Riddle.
Adam Cole's such a fucking chump. They have another match where It's a back and forth. It comes back from commercial break, and they're on their knees, like, hitting each other.
Yeah. Though, this is a great match, I think. I think this is a really good match.
It was good.
It was so just, like,
Yeah.
the exchanging of blows and just the immense athleticism was just great. And, I mean, Adam Cole, I don't like him as a character, but he's a fine wrestler.
Yeah.
I can't deny him that.
Yeah, he's
especially
good.
after I've seen his...
That Gargano match.
That Gargano match.
Again, I think he will match whoever he is wrestling.
Yeah,
so
he'll
if he's
match
up
him.
against another jobber, he's not going to do well. But if he's up against someone who actually tries really hard, then he will try hard too.
And Matt Riddle, you could tell, is like trying to get the championship.
Yeah.
Like, he's going for it.
I love how his submission move is called Bro to Sleep.
Yeah.
and Adam Cole, they told me that he's the 16th champion since presumably 2012. So that gave me some context for how many people have come before him.
And Johnny Gargano's hold the title the most.
Because he's great.
He's great. We shouldn't cut his match.
And then they did this really bad thing where a commentator, like, Matt Riddle's balls hit, like, the turnbuckle, and they're like, oh, he scrambled eggs. And I'm like, oh, that's bad.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I am so sorry.
This is a great match, though.
Yeah, I like
But
I like
it
this
ends
match.
with Matt Riddle being defeated.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? He gave it his all. So that's like a match where I'm like, yes, you lost. I wanted you to win. But I don't... I mind, but, like, you did your best. It wasn't like a Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss match where, like, clearly they didn't want her to go full force, you know?
Yeah. And then we get a special guest appearance, who's not a guest appearance now.
I can't believe Bray Wyatt killed Finn Balor
So
so hard.
hard.
He got transported back 2 brands.
And he has memory loss because he looks happy and is not terrified for his life.
Well, that's a kindness.
And
You know,
again,
it's
This kind of bothered me.
This upset me.
This
Thoroughly.
bothered me because
This
I'm like,
pissed me off.
I thought I was gonna get that Demon Fiend match. Like, that was such a good hook. That could have been like a pay-per-view just by itself. It could have been.
And I would have watched it.
Yeah.
I'd be there, bitch.
Like, that could still be the thing, but you and I had a long conversation about, like, is NXT actually the third brand, or are they still developmental, or are they something in between? Because they bring Finn Balor back as if to say, well, it's the third brand. You can just go from show to show if you want. But they also are like, well, but he says, I'm NXT now. And it's like, well, that clearly is saying I'm not going to be on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, maybe once the Fiend gets the Universal title, he can just show up
Yeah.
anywhere. Because
Yeah.
a Fiend wild card would be good.
Yeah.
If he could just go wherever he wanted, like, can you imagine just an NXT match and then Io Shirai's there and then just the Fiend just kills her and you're
Yeah.
like, oh god.
Yeah, no, I'd support it.
And Balor's the longest reigning NXT
NXT,
champion,
yeah.
which was interesting to me to find out.
But it's
as
just
well.
weird that he's going back because, like, it just...
Well, he died.
It's just, but, like, this is developmental. If Balor's been developed.
No, he's got to respawn now.
Oh, God.
He got killed so hard it corrupted his save
I
file.
wish,
so
like,
he's
that, I hope that's the plot. It's like...
He
Listen,
rises back.
I face down a demon and I have to go back to basics to try to figure out what I'm about. And I'm like, if
Yeah.
you do that, I'll be fine with it.
I'm hoping that's what it is. Yeah. But then we get Velveteen Dream,
Velveteen Dream.
and he's great.
I
he's,
love
he's so
Velveteen
fantastic.
Dream.
He makes a comment where he's like, I've never complained about taking on 2 men at a time. I'm like, that boy bi as hell. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, that was like, I'm like, wow, did Vince allow that?
No, there's no BS.
No, but Triple H did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, his whole thing with Shawn Michaels was basically that.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty open about that being like the point, is
Yeah.
that they were like in love, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
And he challenges Roderick Strong and then snaps his finger and kills half the NXT universe.
Yep.
It just goes to black.
That's what happened. He's opened his third eye. I love Velveteen Dream.
He's so interesting.
I want to see Velveteen Dream versus The Fiend, to be perfect.
I feel like
I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like what's that one form of jutsu from Naruto where he just puts you to a dream state?
Oh, he is Genjutsu.
yeah,
Yeah.
Velveteen just genjutsu.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert on Naruto, people get third eyes at the ending, so.
Yeah.
So the Velveteen Dream, gotcha.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, basically.
And then we get a cut match of Io Shirai versus Mia Yim.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm half sad about that because
because you like Io Shirai.
I love Io Shirai.
And then we get a Gargano Shane Thorne match.
And I wanted to watch Shane Thorne because he has that fucking Berserk tattoo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And it's Johnny Gargano. And how do you cut a Johnny Gargano match?
Because he's not in Imperium
Shut the
or in
fuck
the Undisputed Era.
up.
But then we
He's
get
little Johnny Wrestling.
Then we get a bit with Candice LeRae, but then they have to plug Treadstone again. Like
Jesus.
They're like, oh, watch Treadstone. Like, you're really gonna like the plot. And I'm like, is this canon to like NXT? Is that what you're doing?
I feel like Treadstone is so low budget they can't afford ads, but one of the producers is like friends with Triple H or some shit. So
it's only on NXT they'll advertise Treadstone.
Yes, and USA, it does have still a Raw, so they could advertise it there, but they're like, no,
we don't have time for shit.
Then we get this.
So we just got rid of the giant Spartan.
Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna gets booed, and LeRae does a pedigree on her, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And Shayna hits LeRae's elbow against the steps, and that looked like it really fucking hurt.
I feel like Shayna Baszler is trying to be Triple H.
Is she?
I think kind of.
Kind of.
But flopping and failing.
She retains by submission. So that's nice. We get a cut match of Peter
I feel like
Dunne.
half this episode's cut. Jesus.
I mean, they're doing 2-hour episodes now, so the Hulu edits are still 50 minutes.
Fucking Christ.
So instead of cutting out an hour and a half from a 3-hour show, they cut out an hour, from what I understand.
Fuck me.
So the three cut matches in this episode equal about an hour of content, I believe.
Fuck me.
So they were all about 20 minutes. And then Adam Cole is backstage and he's like, "Screw Finn Balor. The prophecy must be fulfilled." And I haven't been watching NXT, so I don't understand if like the prophecy is Undisputed Era is going to take over or something.
Yes.
Okay.
The prophecy was that Adam Cole's a prophecy that Undisputed Era will hold all the gold.
Okay.
Okay, because it started out with just him, and he's like, "All right, I have Roderick Strong, and I have these 2 other fucking dopes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna basically take all the gold, all the titles."
Okay.
And NXT UK Takeover Toronto
Oh,
was supposed to be that, but the tag teams didn't win, and Roderick Strong didn't win.
Okay.
But Adam Cole retained against Gargano after a fucking hour-long fight.
Yeah.
And so he was pissed. They're like, "We gotta double down on this." And like the next episode, they won tag team and they won North American.
Yeah.
So the prophecy is that they will reign supreme over NXT.
I kind of wish the prophecy was, we're all going to get the gold. They get the gold, next match someone loses. And be like, well, the prophecy came true in a sense.
I really wish, because again, we've talked about NXT now on this series. I fucking hate the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
It's
Adam Cole, baby, boom.
The next match is Street Profits versus Undisputed Era. And
they go overtime. Ooh.
Yeah, they do. And they do. The Undisputed Era does that hand sign. It's like, are you guys trying to be the the Bullet Club? And then they say this weird thing where they're like, we could be here all night, and I'm like, wait, but
there's a time
limit, right?
No, but they can go as long as they want to, and they do like 9 minutes over.
And then there's this weird moment where the ref tells the Undisputed Era not to cheat, but then like as he's saying, "Hey, don't cheat," they tag. He's like, "Oh, tag made," and I'm like, what the fuck? That's not real. No, and they say something about the bodies hitting the floor, and I immediately thought of Nathan.
Yeah,
the bodies hit the floor.
Because we just got off a Rambo kick, and wow, the bodies hit the floor.
They do this cool leg catcher suplex for a near fall. Dawkins does, and it's also just this thing where the ref only physically restrains the competition when they need someone to be distracted so that another person can cheat. He never does it normally, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong comes out.
Yes.
And the Undisputed Era retains.
So since we only got to see like half the episode, it's hard to really talk about it because but I feel like this is just a normal episode of NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a normal episode.
Which is bizarre because on the other network, we have AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, it is, and interesting.
Opens with a match, Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara.
And I immediately hate his gimmick.
I hate it.
He's
a vlogger.
See, the funny thing was I didn't know that, and then I looked at Nathan and I'm like, this guy looks like fucking Shane Dawson. He looks like a fucking YouTuber. And they're like, yeah, he does vlogs, and I'm like, oh well.
He is.
He does.
I don't like this dumb panda hat.
That was
fucking furry.
It's just I don't get why for the first episode, for the first match, you have the VP fight this guy, as talented as he is, and then you also do the bit of the guy hurting his wife. And it's like you did this all in the first match of the first episode of AEW.
This feels like
it's really
this feels like a discounted version of the Darby Allin match.
It is.
The Darby Allin match should have been the opening because that match was so fucking amazing in Fyter Fest.
Like it had so much presence and personality, and it came with the fucking body bag, and
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I gotta say, so I follow Brandy Rose on Instagram, as everyone should.
She's a.
But on her whatever it is, story or whatever.
Yes.
I don't.
I'm here.
social
I'm
media.
here to help you.
Yeah. There's a picture before the show where they're on the way, and it's a selfie with MJF and Cody and Brandy Rhodes because he's like good friends with him. And I'm waiting for like down the road where it's Master versus Apprentice, and we get MJF versus Cody.
Yeah. But Cody's an absolute boss. There's also a sign. So AEW is also great because the fans are so like fucking pissed at WWE. Their signs are like don't give a fuck. So it shows a shot of Vince fears ratings, and I'm like, oh.
And we'll get into it. But this is an alright match. This is fun. I think that like
I like their taunts. That's cool. But...
Yeah, they do like the thing where Sammy Guevara hurts Brandy or causes Brandy to be hurt.
Yeah.
And then there's the asshole chants.
Yeah.
And Cody's like crying.
I feel like they should have been in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not that I hate this match. It's just that it's like
it's weird for the first.
It's weird for the first match.
Yeah.
If I had liked fucking Sammy Guevara, I would have been like, oh man, imagine if Cody Rhodes, VP of All Elite Wrestling, loses his very first match of the series. But then as the match went on, I was like, I fucking hate this guy.
The one thing I liked about Sammy Guevara, I hate his character. He's a great wrestler. I hate his character. But the best part of his character was in the bit at the end of the match where I love how AEW has the characters more like willing to show respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they'll shake hands at the end of a match more.
Yeah.
As opposed to leaving the person in the dust. So Cody goes to shake Sammy's hand and Sammy seems pretty genial. But Cody's back is to the entrance ramp. And then, like, Sammy Guevara's like, yeah, let me shake your hand. And then Chris Jericho just hits Cody in the back of the head, and Sammy Guevara's just like, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah,
and he just leaves, and he's just like,
This is fun. Chris Jericho coming in, being Chris Jericho.
He threatens the ref. He hits Cody with the belt.
Yeah, that was great.
It's so good.
Jericho grabs a camera and takes selfies, and I am like... Chris Jericho. Yeah, no, they're
Oh, you have to mention, by the way, I saw a different version of the episode than these two did.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about that.
It's always had some interesting stuff.
I watched the episode version that's on TNT's website.
Yeah.
You guys watched a different version.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
so that's amazing because what they do is on the commercial breaks they have like either static shots or a wrestler going around the ring. Just kind of taunting, or you do what Chris Jericho does. He uses it as an opportunity for character. Because I swear to God, Chris Jericho has got to be, as far as all the shows we watch, he is in the top 5 heels.
He's
any of the shows.
Absolutely incredible.
He is absolutely amazing. He literally grabs someone's camera. It was probably a plant.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
I do like the idea that he grabs a fan's camera. Like it's a long lens too, and he like sets up shots and like takes pictures of Cody like in the dust and takes a selfie with him and. It's such good heat.
I hope they sell those. I'm sure they came out terrible, but I really want the picture of him taking a selfie over Cody's broken body.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And another thing that AEW does, the Brandy Cody relationship is good because they actually show them reacting to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas like there was this weird thing where they were pushing the Becky and Seth thing. And then once the plotline had kind of served its purpose, they never, even when like he gets fucked by Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins doesn't have Becky at his side comforting him.
Yeah.
And it's like in a realistic scenario, I would not care about a match. I would go hopefully take care of my husband with broken ribs.
Yeah, it's bad.
So I do like that AEW is like doing that, so it's more realistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then we get the Cutler versus MJF.
So set up for this match. This match kind of got like popular on Twitter before it happened.
It got trending.
Where Brandon Cutler posted a gym selfie of himself and like, yeah, I work out or whatever, and I play D&D.
Yeah.
And then MJF, being the beautiful heel bastard that he is, and I love MJF to death.
He's so good.
I would
posted
say,
a picture of himself where his muscles are even bigger because he is more ripped.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I don't play D&D.
Yeah, and then somebody else did, another one of the AEW guys said, well, I play D&D, and he's like on the cover of a magazine. It's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also, a weird thing about this is that I follow Geek and Sundry, which is Felicia Day's channel.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched her show.
I only ever watched The Guild, and I subscribed out of just like, I watched 7 seasons of this show. All right.
Yeah.
And they have good stuff. They have, I think, Critical Role and stuff
They
like
do
that.
have Critical Role.
But then they a few hours before AEW went live, they uploaded an episode of an RPG, but at first I didn't know it was them. I scrolled down, I saw the AEW shirt on somebody, and I'm like, okay, cool. But this is framed a bit differently than other AEW thumbnails, and I looked, and Luchasaurus is there, Brandon Cutler's there.
Oh, nice.
And then I see someone with a Twitch shirt on, and I'm like, okay. And then I look harder, and I'm like, they had a crossover with Geek and Sundry playing an RPG. And it's Brandon Cutler and Luchasaurus, and I'm like, that is how you get nerds into it.
Well, and that's what they're all about.
Yeah.
As like AEW's thing is that they are dedicated to hardcore fucking nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because I would say that was a really good way to hook nerds. There's a thing in this episode that I would argue is a really bad way to.
And I'm going to argue with you. You're right.
I know
we
you
are
will.
going to argue.
But for now, we're in agreement that MJF is absolutely.
I'm not going to
iconic.
fight you there, Nathan. MJF
is also one of the top 5 heels
I
in
will
any of these
agree.
shows.
Yeah,
I will agree.
he's
So
good.
AEW has the benefit of having 2 of the best heels in any professional wrestling that I watch.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
But there's another sign that says MJF is better than me, and I'm like,
with a sad crying face on it,
Yeah.
and it's like that's absolutely wonderful.
but I did notice there was some not so subtle thing of JR going like, now this is TV 14, and they said that 2 or 3 times, and I was like, oh yeah, they gotta let people know it's we're more hardcore.
We can do anything. But I love and I think one of the things that makes heels really strong is that they don't stop or get discouraged when the crowd is booing them.
No.
Whenever the crowd is just uproariously booing MJF, he just kind of smirks and he pauses for a second, then he keeps going on.
He loves it. It gives him energy.
Yeah. Whereas Ronda Rousey and Roman Reigns both have had their history of getting really fucking irritated at the boos, and it's like if you were
Or the Revival, who are heels.
the fucking Revival,
Or the OC.
or they don't want none.
Yeah.
But
Also,
I also wanted to complain. AEW Dynamite's opening looks great.
Yes.
I love the stylized colors
yeah.
and the explosions. Why is it not AC/DC's TNT?
Right.
You should have got it.
Should have shelled out.
Listen,
Well, they can
season 2.
Yeah, season 2. They can always get it later.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to use it for the first season because they're like, oh, but
That's
then we
still
wouldn't be able to let go.
Yeah.
But we get this yeah. So this match is great.
This is a good match. It should have opened with this.
I honestly think it should have. It probably should have.
Which is so weird because I feel like of the pay-per-views we've seen, I think we still need 2 more before we're caught up to where the show is
we have
now.
Fight for the Fallen and then All Out.
Yeah.
We're getting there, guys.
But I feel like the first 2 / All In as well, I feel like MJF is really underplayed.
Yes.
He wasn't in All In, or he was in the pre-show or something.
Yeah.
And he got largely
He's
cut.
huge in the Road 2s.
Oh, okay.
The Road
Good.
2 premiere on TNT. He there was a 10-minute episode, a 10-minute segment of a 16-minute episode that was just MJF shitting on Cutler.
Good. I need that.
in his fucking fancy house, drinking his coffee and spitting it on his assistant. And
he's this
it's amazing.
He's this really interesting he's like a combination of Triple H's 2 personas. Where he dresses and has the aesthetic of Hunter Hemsley, but then he's a complete dick and goes up against people.
He would fit perfectly in the universe of the American Psycho movie.
Yeah.
He is so much like that prick.
If you do an American Psycho remake starring MJF, I will watch it.
That's a great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I call him JF.
And this is where the version Nathan and I watched was weird because we got apparently the live feed. Because it showed them setting up the camera shots to come back from commercial and the dead air and the stuff that you wouldn't see during the commercial breaks, only live. And there was a bit where it just showed the crowd because it was going to come back and pan down from the crowd, and it shows the camera getting position, and we're just kind of what the fuck? Why is nothing happening? And then you hear this brief bit of on the mic, you hear JR going, what? And then just silence.
For a minute.
For a minute. There was huge segments and it was unfortunate because we were both what the fuck? And that, I'm not saying this depreciates the rest of the episode because that wasn't supposed to be seen. I'm just I was very confused.
But yeah, so fun fact, because we saw a show live. There was nothing like that for the Raw.
For WWE, they played commercials and recaps and shit.
Or they had kids come out and say, "Can you name the wrestler?"
Yeah.
But something's always happening, whereas AEW has made it so that they will allow time for the commercial break, which kind of sucks if you're at the live show, but if you're watching it on cable,
It gives you time to pee. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's true.
Because they don't have shitty matches like Viking Raiders.
And this is where you guys are gonna fight about the
Okay.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, is this what it is? Oh, okay.
So, yeah, all right, we'll do a little brief spat. I love Jay and Silent Bob. I like Kevin Smith. I like Jason Mewes. I think that they're great. I love their movies. I love them as personalities, and I enjoy them being here.
I haven't seen any of their stuff. I don't know them. I have nothing against them. I'm sure they're wonderful. My only takeaway from it, they're talking with this tag team group that I don't really like, and not in a like a fun heel way, not as in a no, they're generally not enjoyable to be around. But two, their big comeback is the guy, the one that's not
Mewes,
wearing the hat.
Jason Mewes.
Jason Mewes. He just goes, "You guys aren't even good enough to win a match," and it's like, that is my God. That's I could have come up with a better comeback than that when I was in the womb. Like, that's so milquetoast.
And see, I'll come down the middle. I've seen some of their movies, and I like them. I just think they could have been better utilized. Yeah. I think they should have been on commentary.
I find it weird that they've been great on commentary, personally.
Well, I don't know if they're probably on their on Fat Man and Batman or whatever.
Fat Man on Batman. Yeah.
Covering AEW
Probably,
shit.
yeah.
But I really wish that they had just been on commentary, because that's where they would have.
Well, I love them a lot. I just find it weird that they had that one tag team come out and talk to them.
Yeah.
If they had just been like, "Hey, we're here. We're Jay and Silent Bob. Our movie's coming out soon. It's gonna have Chris Jericho."
Oh, because the reboots. They're doing a reboot, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, where the whole joke is that they're rebooting their old movie to make fun of reboots movies coming out today.
I'm sure that'll be fun.
It's gonna be a fun time. I know it is. 'Cause I trust them.
So then we get this weird fucking segment with Nathan. I was a little gacked for this. Sal? What was happening with this Obama? But it was SCU.
It was SCU.
Yeah,
it was SCU, and the black guy was doing an Obama thing.
Yeah.
What was the? I don't know if I was gacked, but I missed the whole point of the segment.
They were in Washington D.C. for this episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And
that's not good.
And there's a black guy in SCU that does a passable Obama voice.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
They either should have been more political or less, because I don't know what they were trying to say.
I'd also like to point out that you went to get food at this point. I rewound, and you still didn't come into focus until about halfway through the skit, where he immediately dropped his Obama voice.
I blame myself, but again, I think this should have been like more political.
it was fucking
SCU's
weird.
a thing.
Okay.
Listen, every wrestling company needs its own, shitty heel team.
Yes.
And
Also, they
They're all right. It's
this,
AEW, so they're all right.
They did this bit where JR, there's a segment where we see Chris Jericho backstage, and then JR mentions, we're kind of spying on Chris Jericho, and I'm like, oh, they just acknowledge that in universe there's a camera hovering there, and
it's really great.
And then we get Rio versus Nyla Rose, which I don't have a lot to say on this match, but
is mine?
What the fuck?
Around?
And that's what I have in my order.
Okay.
I have the Hangman Page match before that.
No! It's because they
you're
promoted it.
You're right.
They
Sorry.
were like,
I looked down on my notes. I made this mistake. I was like, Rio versus Nyla Rose. Oh, it's just a promo, and then I wrote down.
Yeah, I remember us getting thrown off.
So sorry. It's Page versus Pac, and Pac looks like
bastard Pac.
The bastard Pac. He reminds me of like a fucking balding Drew McIntyre if he did a lot of meth.
Yeah. Also, this was another weird moment because, again, they took a commercial break, and so on the live stream, it's literally just Pac walking around the stage looking mean.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that, but yeah.
Cool.
But I thought this was a good match.
This was good, and I love that Hangman Page lost.
Yeah, he did.
I was real worried.
Yeah, they definitely are conscientious of the fact that they don't want to make Adam Page 2014 Roman Reigns.
Because I'll be honest, I was already just watching three pay-per-views with him. I was kind of like, I'm kind of over the good cowboy Hangman, and then it's like, oh, and he lost. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and Pac also defeated Kenny Omega.
He did.
So he's.
I know that the agent. There was a whole stink of Pac not wanting to keep his winning streak. So I know his agent's like, no, he's not going to compete a lot unless he's winning. So
yeah, because he's like 2 years without a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're selling it on that.
And he ends covered in blood too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And then there was a pit where JR kind of forgot what network they were on for a second. He was like, "We are on TNT," and I'm like, "Oh, good, you survived."
Yeah. There's a half second JR forgot, because his wife died 5 years ago and 5 blocks down the street.
My wife was killed 2 years ago, two blocks down the street.
Again, I'm waiting for like a year or two from now where JR just like mistakes wrestlers for old ones that
Oh,
he's
God,
so like we'll
stop it.
just be watching a Hangman match and he's like, I can't believe Hulk Hogan.
I mean, Steve,
Hawks just knocks Paige the fuck out.
yeah.
He kicks him in the balls.
Yeah, he does.
Real fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking funny because you have Hangman Page like reeling back, and the referee is like up in Pac's face, and he's just up against ropes. And he was like, my mistake.
My mistake.
It was
A
an
very good
accident.
friend of mine.
I just enjoy how AEW, like, A, has good heels, and B, lets them win.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's gonna like that because again, this is very weird. I have not watched the first episode of a wrestling show before.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say because I've watched a lot of wrestling, but again, we haven't watched the first Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah.
I haven't seen TNA or any of that shit.
We are the casuals.
We are the casuals. So for me, kind of gauging where the show is gonna go, I definitely don't think I'm gonna get a grasp on what AEW fully is in the serialized format.
Yeah.
Because like the
Take a-
pay-per-views are like the structure was way different.
Yes.
They were able to have more climactic battles because there was all this build-up per month.
Yeah, like when I was watching, I was like, "This is." I would argue it is a marked step down from the pay-per-views, but of course it is because it's
Yes.
a weekly show
Yeah.
versus pay-per-views that were
Yeah,
coming
but
out
full
once
gear.
every 3 months.
Full gear.
When they first like kept showing that, I was like, "Are they already launching like another
Show?
Is that their SmackDown and this is their Raw?" I was like, "Oh no, it's the next pay-per-view." Okay.
Speaking of, one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen on wrestling, we have these advertisements, and they have this ad where they're showing Chris Jericho, and then, and then at the end of the ad you just hear, a little bit of the bubbly, but it's not the original audio clip, as Nathan kept swearing to me, and I couldn't believe him because I was gacked, but he was saying like, no, I swear that's a different rendition. He re-recorded it to make it more sinister.
Yeah, no, it's and he's wearing a little bit of the bubbly shirt, which is on sale on the AEW.
Which I need to
I
get
need to
that.
buy.
Yeah, I need like 5.
Little
We,
bit of the
we here at
bubbly.
RSC love a little bit of the bubbly memes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm so happy that he embraced it wholeheartedly, and it's so.
Chris Jericho's a smart man. He knows what's up.
Yeah,
Then we get Riho versus Nyla Rose.
and this was with Dr. Britt Baker on commentary, although she did not talk.
She didn't talk very much. No.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
But it was really funny because I saw this matchup and I was like, oh god, I'm so sorry. There's not another small wrestler to help.
Yeah, because last
distract
time they
Nyla
fought
Rose.
Nyla Rose, it was her and the Magical Girl.
Yeah,
2-on-1, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so I was like, oh, you're gonna get fucked.
I love her the whole
Slithering,
sit up where
yeah.
they like bend every vertebrae of their spine and stand up.
Yeah.
Like that's very impressive. She does that out of a fucking like pin.
Yeah.
So like she breaks out that way. I'm like, this power scaling is insane.
Yeah. She does a lot of.
Rio's just so fast.
There's like a couple times where she does the I forget what it's called. Like it's like the Black Widow jump up and hook their legs around the head and to bring them down. And I'm like, oh, it's really nice to see good high flyer versus solid big ground fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Done well.
There's a bit where they say she's being woman handled, and I'm like, huh, okay. Then there's that. I love Nyla Rose's move where she jumps from the top rope and then knees you right in the side of the fucking head, and knocks you down off the rope. Like that feels like that could go very wrong very easily.
Yeah, I'm sure it could.
I feel like that's gonna be the new Randy Orton punt kick, where it's like, yeah, someone's just skull gets fractured from that.
Yeah.
And then Rio wins.
It's very surprising.
Yeah, because Nyla like almost had her, and then was like, "No, I'm gonna inflict more damage," and it's like, you made a mistake."
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was just like, yeah, so this is the first ever women's champion.
I knew Rio was gonna win though.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the belt, I'm like, "That's too small for Nyla."
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
That's a good point.
I saw that belt, and I was like, "Yeah, nope."
Have to be smarter.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit where I forget who it is, but he's like, I'm gonna interview her in Japanese, and I'm like, please don't do this.
It's like, so it's like, I forget who it is too, because like they mentioned how Kenny Omega's like her teacher,
yeah,
but of course you can have more than one coach.
yeah.
So it's always some other different guy. Then Nyla Rose is like, nah, fuck that weeaboo shit, and comes in and just
beats
attacks
her
him.
up. And then Kenny Omega comes out, and I'm like, oh, cross-gender, like, being able to save someone who's not the same gender as you? This is really nice.
That never happens.
No. No, it's, like, very rare. And I'm like, oh, yeah, tell her to fuck off. And then we get...
The main event. But not main event.
Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, and then Santana and Ortiz.
So when they're together, they're called the Elite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I was writing it down. Yeah.
B team. Go.
Oh.
It's almost the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of come down on the Young Bucks too. I am not.
Yeah.
Again, it's just because I don't really give a shit about tag team wrestling. And like
they're good, but
they did real good in those pay-per-views. But then
when they're able to go all out in the pay-per-views, they're like unbelievable because they have the ability. But when they kind of have to be a bit more restrained, it's like I'm not totally with your characters. This is honestly about Kenny and Jericho for me.
Yeah,
like that's who I care about.
Or Kenny and Moxley.
Well,
John Moxley is a crazy bastard.
I fucking love him. Dude.
I want Moxley versus Pac, honestly.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to know what kind of stuff they'd get up to if Joey Janela went that far. Pac might.
Joey Janela died.
He's gone.
He got the death he wished for.
So was it? It was just Kenny Omega and John Moxley fighting through the crowd.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I thought in my mind it started with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Although it's so funny because it starts off they're about to, and then Chris Jericho immediately taps out. And he's like, no, I'm not going to fight Kenny again.
Yeah.
Like, no! God damn it.
John Moxley does this great thing where he's standing behind Kenny Omega and he does his gun pointing signature, and I'm like, oh, fuck, you're going to die.
And Kenny, like, feels, like, the dark
yeah,
presence.
he's like, and starts turning around. You're going to die.
I love that he looks the exact wrong way, so he doesn't immediately see that.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
turns
yeah.
The opposite direction
Dark Spirit Moxley has entered.
Oh,
yeah, just gets summoned. And then, okay, so I don't remember exactly what happens, so...
There's
Chris Jericho's like, who threw the wiener in the ring? So there's a bit where this must have been on the commercial break because someone throws a fucking hot dog in the ring, and then Jericho picks it up and goes, "Who threw the wiener in the ring?" And then he crushes it.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, he's like mildly amused. Then he looks really annoyed, looks straight at the camera, and just goes, and he tosses it aside. Yeah. And it's like the first shot that cuts back from the John Moxley Kenny Omega because you follow them for a while, then it cuts back to in the ring.
Yeah,
I know on my version there was a cool cut where like as Omega's getting thrown against the wall, it cuts it in the ring.
Yeah.
That was like so good.
No, we noticed that. That was extremely well timed.
Yeah, because they can't see each other.
Yeah.
So like, God, that was very well
someone
coordinated.
in the control panel was like, all right,
two.
Yeah, they're wearing
Camera
like very small earpiece. And it's like, okay, they're doing it now.
And then we Jericho uses the Judas effect.
Wonderful.
He gets the pin, and then Cody Rhodes comes out, and he dies.
Well, wait. Before that,
What?
Isn't there a certain going through table?
yes,
bit?
Moxley puts himself and Omega through a table.
So
that's fucking hilarious.
So this was so fucking funny to me because it's very. I know like the whole point in wrestling is that you're taking the brunt of the hit.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you're doing a DDT.
But this is clearly
No, this is clearly like John Moxley going like ass and spine through glass, and then like Kenny Omega's head kind of hits the edge of the table, I guess. And Moxley's clearly in pain, and Kenny Omega's like kind of got a bumped head, but it's like no, his ass is full of glass.
So I watched this bit with Sean, and Sean just like died. He's like, wait, how is that effective?
It's just because John Moxley wants to experience pain.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
And
Joey Janela.
And I think beforehand he was also smashing Kenny Omega against the VIP room door, and I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna break through.
Me too.
But then they just didn't.
Also, they have a cleaner joke with the mop.
That was really good.
It's Kenny Omega is one of the best with physical comedy
Yeah.
in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like he's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Cody
Classic
Rhodes
American
comes
comedy.
out. Classic American comedy.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes comes out, dies.
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
Sammy Guevara comes out and helps kill him.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Dustin comes out, solos everyone like fucking Kane style, just
Yeah.
like one shot,
It's
one shot.
good.
And then he just gets slammed.
They put him through the table that was there to hold the belt for the women's.
Yeah.
That's still around.
And it didn't fall
Yeah.
apart very well, so I was like, ooh, that hurt. That didn't collapse under his weight. Ow.
And then
I feel like they just used that as, oh, we just use this table. It has to be like breakable, right?
oh yeah.
I have a guess. And then
I don't know who this is.
I don't know, and
Okay, so I did
and
research
again,
afterwards.
I was watching this with Sean like right before we recorded, and made the comment of like every time I cut to this guy, he had this look of like he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah.
And I thought this was like a weird like Treadstone crossover. He was like
he looked like someone from Jason Bourne.
like he looked like he was a sleeper agent, and then he was like woken up like 5 minutes ago and was like, "You have to fight in that ring." And then he just goes.
I was gonna say he was like spoilers for Endgame. He was like
Avengers Endgame, not Highlander Endgame.
Yeah. Right, not that one Endgame about chess.
Yes.
But no. He was like he was like Falcon at the end of Endgame, where he goes to old Cap and then he looks over at Bucky and is like, "Are you sure I'm the one who's supposed to be doing that?" And so like he beats Dustin. And he's like, "Yeah, I did that. I'm more powerful than Dustin Rhodes."
So I did research on this guy.
Yeah.
Because Lee read up about the AEW episode and was like, "Oh yeah, he popped up," and I'm like, well, "Why do you know who he is?" And then so it turns out he was actually like kind of big on WCW, and I forget if it was before or after they got absorbed by WWE, but he was on WWE for a few years and he did have the title at one point, but he hasn't been in it since like 2014, and I don't know what he was doing in the meantime.
MMA, I think.
Yeah, no, he did MMA for 2 years. So he's like an MMA guy.
He's tall. I didn't know he was so tall. And then Jericho stands next to him. He's just
So he's their Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is he's going to be the Brock Lesnar of AEW.
Cool.
Yeah. And he was all right. I just barely know anything about him.
I just don't know his character, who he is.
Yeah. So maybe if he cuts a promo, we'll have something to say. And then the last thing I want to mention is this really great shot where it's panning past all the heels. And then in the middle is Chris Jericho, and then as the camera passes him, he shrugs and goes, "I'm real sorry for what I did."
Yeah, no, it's so fucking funny.
And it ends on what's the guy's name?
Jake Hager.
Yeah. And he went by Swagger for a bit. So Jake Hager, he's the last guy they focus on. But as it passes Jericho and gets to him, he like shrugs and goes, "Sorry."
And it was really funny because it looked like they were gonna do a stage bow, and then they it was really weird. It was very interesting.
But that was the first episode of Dynamite.
I think that Dynamite was better than NXT.
Oh yeah.
I would agree.
It also doesn't help that I only apparently have seen half of NXT because they cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think like, well, again, it's the first episode. Like we don't know how the show will grow.
How
and
will
change.
this consistently show that that's quality?
Because AEW is starting and NXT's in this weird transitional point of, are we the third brand? Are we developmental?
I want to see them work in more of the Road to shit into the actual episode.
Yeah.
I want to see more promos. I want to see more like.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's kind of the thing that's weighing me down.
Yeah,
with NXT and with AEW, it's like the matches are really good, but I don't necessarily watch wrestling for the matches. I watch it for the story and the characters, and when you're very thin on that, and then
I mean it's brilliant athleticism, but it's kind of what I was talking about. Like if I just watch anime fights, they're great, like they're well animated, but it's like
I don't care about who's fighting.
Do I care if I pick a random anime that someone says the fight's good in it and then I watch it?
Yeah,
not necessarily. And like AEW, I think is for me. I think NXT is kind of like that for me, whereas like so I take notes, so I put a lot of care and effort into like I'm paying fucking attention to your show, like I'm giving, because that's what I like to do. I like to give you my respect and pay attention because maybe you're being more subtle than people who are leaving the room every 30 minutes and they miss like a 5-minute segment, So for NXT, it's like I'm kind of more comfortable with like watching kind of the big moments of the matches. Because pretty much the story beats are going to be like right before and right after, and then it's just the next match.
Yeah.
Whereas AEW, like I feel like they kind of just wanted to give you a mini pay-per-view and do some good matches, and they're going to like work the story in over time. Because I think the Road 2 stuff, they should just drop that, put that in the episodes.
Yeah.
Because the Road 2, the premiere of on TNT was great shit, and I'm like, I wish some of the MJF stuff had been in the actual episode. And
because what you could do is have like 2 hours of actual wrestling, make it a 3-hour show, and have like an hour of like in the middle, just add some, you cut your promos and shit, and have your actual plot.
Yeah.
But like, when I see like, only reason why I know MJF and Brandon Cutler fought was because I saw the feud on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Because it was entirely MJF weighing that up if you just watch the actual match.
Yeah.
Like, character-wise, it was just him establishing, like, this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Whereas if you watch the Road to or the Twitter stuff, it's like, oh, so, like, this is what the context is.
Yeah, and I also get that AEW is trying to be very trendy and going for all those platforms. So, like, the Twitter thing is important. Yeah. The YouTube account is important. But you guys are great. I'm not gonna watch 4 wrestling shows and your YouTube series for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I value my time.
Yeah. So, I think oh, I forgot we got to do our normal. So who is the best actor of all of these?
MJF.
MJF or Chris Jericho?
Oh, are we just doing AEW?
Oh,
No.
well, no, we can do all.
No, I was doing all of them.
Yeah, I would say out of all of them, I'd say probably MJF and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
If it's just acting, like, let me check Raw.
Or Bray Wyatt, because always.
Yeah, he did the Firefly Fun.
Yeah.
He wins every time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I basically, discounting the best actor,
Yeah.
they would be the next 2 I would pick.
Which is so. Did you know that Becky Lynch went to like a theater college? Like,
really?
Yeah.
So she has
someplace
like
in Dublin.
Oh yeah, so she's a trained actor.
Yeah.
Good.
And
As they all should be.
But somehow she isn't in the
Not
top.
good, yeah.
there.
I would say worst actor was probably Bobby Lashley.
It's not AOP.
Ooh.
I see. I enjoyed Bobby Lashley more. So
see, I would say Bobby Lashley can be
Ric Flair.
No, Ric Flair was bad though.
That's
Ric Flair.
true.
I think Ric Flair was the worst actor of the whole.
I agree.
All 3 shows.
Well, because he couldn't remember to stay on script.
Yeah, I'd say Ric Flair. Authors of Pain were bad, but they're kind of just consistently the same.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Lashley is just hilarious. So I'll give Ric Flair as worst actor and MJF as the best actor. Because I feel like MJF is what Ric Flair used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like high tier. And then, there's a lot of good matches. I think we'll get to the point where we can actually pick a favorite. But I'd say probably best match was, I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably
Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega.
That wasn't even a match, but I'll take it.
I'm gonna say.
I'll take it.
I'm gonna say Matt Riddle, Adam Cole.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think like Matt Riddle really like went hard for it, and Cole had to step up to fight him.
Yeah, which
and,
is
like,
nice when you have to push yourself,
Yeah.
But I don't really. The whole week was interesting. I'd say like Raw was okay. I don't really feel too strongly about it either way. Yeah. AEW I'd say is a pretty good start.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
I hope that in the future they incorporate more plot, more story, more character, more promos.
NXT I'm kind of feeling like figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like cuz they want you to compete with AEW, but AEW is their one show.
And fix that Hulu edit. For fuck's sake.
I don't know why they have to cut it for the Hulu edit.
Make it an hour 20 like the Raw or in the SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't get that logic.
Maybe they because
it must be part of the deal.
Well, NXT just switched channels as well, didn't they? So it's a transitional period. Maybe they will fix it.
I'm hoping because But anyway, thank you for joining the Ringside Casuals. We're gonna do an episode on SmackDown, Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell I'm super fucking excited for.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for SmackDown too, just because I want Brock Lesnar to take the title from Kofi really bad.
I'm happy I get to see The Rock.
If Kofi loses the belt,
can you smell what The Rock is?
No, The Rock is good. Huh?
Joe, it's Saturday morning. We watched. I can't believe that Brock Lesnar just,
Wait, let me? Do you want me to find out?
No, I know. I watched it. It's Saturday.
Do we want to know? Do we want to spare ourselves the disappointment?
How crestfallen can we become?
Let's
all right. We got a couple minutes.
Don't look anything else up. Just that. Yeah. I think this is a very amusing end to the episode. I
agree.
Just because we haven't seen it yet.
So
it might still be going.
If it started at 7, or does it start at 6?
I don't fucking know.
If it was any luck, it's like the match that's currently going.
Yeah, probably. Let me see.
I don't think it's there. But while you guys are doing that, thank you guys so very much for listening to the Ringside Casuals. We are on Podbean, Apple Podcast, iTunes. We're on YouTube. Please consider subscribing to our channel and watch our other YouTube channels, such as the Escape Pod, Joss and Possum, which is a gaming channel. The Escape Pod's a media channel. We'll have some more episodes coming up on that. Nathan and I did an episode on the Rambo series. We did a shuttle cast. We're gonna go be seeing Joker tonight.
Yeah.
Was it a DQ?
No.
Was it a DQ?
No.
What?
Remind me. It was yesterday. It was last night. I can't remember.
Brock Lesnar fucking buried Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
It was apparently like 8 seconds. He had 5 minutes in the grave.
Yes, this is how you please. See, Fox knows what will please me as a wrestling fan.
Oh, Christmas came early.
Oh, thank God,
so did
man.
I.
I thought Christmas only comes once a year. Me after Hell in a Cell.
Okay, so all that stuff. Outro. I've been Nathan.
I've been Josiah.
I'm still me, but who am I?
Cock Lesnar.